Hey guys, it's Rick. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing 3 cards with the same layout. It's super easy. The layout came from MFT and Sketch, and we're going to get into this. All right, for my cards, I'm using the Flippin Best Stamp and Dies from Pajama Crafter Stamps, the birthday A2 size paper pad from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to be coloring my images with my Ohuhu markers that I purchased. All right, I have stamped up all my images on some Nina Solar White 110-pound cardstock, and I'm coloring my penguins with, I started off with my darkest color, which was 120, that's pure black, and then I'm blending that out with YG 130 YG09, which is what I'm using right now, and then my lightest color is going to be 090. So we're going to do all of our penguins the same way. So we're going to start off with our 120, blend that out with our WG130 and our WG90 and our WG090, which is this one right here. And you can see it's not quite black, but it looks black. And anytime you want to have a black object, you do have to add some black into it. So don't be afraid of the dark colors. I know that scares y'all. I know it drives you insane, but it's okay. You can get black and make it look black, and it's going to be fine. It's not a big deal. Don't be afraid of the drama and the dramatic color. All right, we're going to finish up our next little penguin right here. And by the way, we're starting with the coloring first before we get to the card layout. All right, for our white of our penguin, we're going to add a little color to him, and we are going to do WG03, WG07, 0, and WG01. I wanted to take and add, I don't know why, I was on a warm gray kick, obviously. Well, you know, a lot of people think you should have to use warm gray when you have any kind of animal, but you can use whatever you have. It'll be all right. So we're starting out with the WG07, blending that out in our darkest areas, and then we're blending out with WG01 and a little bit of the 0 marker to blend that out. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have went so dark with the WG03 to begin with. I probably would have just went with the WG070 and the WG01, or just the WG01 and the colorless blender. But hindsight's 2020, right? All right, so we're going to finish blending those out. And all these are in the same set, and there are coordinating dies. If I didn't mention it, they're from Pajama Crafter Stamps, and which is home of Prickly Pear. So we are going to color up our beaks, and I'm just using RO70 and RO090 for their beak and their feet. And so I'm just going to color those out. I'm starting off with my darkest color, which is the RO70, and I'm blending that out with the RO90. And we're going to do all their little beaks and feet the same. We're just going to add our little shadows on different areas. For the beaks, I did them on the sides, and on this one, I've done it on the left and the right-hand side with a highlight coming in on both sides because he's going to be floating in the air. He's holding balloons. All right, I'm going to use that same color combination, but I've added in Y5, which is an orange color. It's actually called orange for my balloons. It's a little darker than the others, so we're using Y5 RO70 or YR090, and I did the Y5 and the RO70 on his little bow tie. Hey, yesterday was my birthday. I can do whatever the heck I want. All right, for our pinks, I'm using R23, R22, and RV280 and RV030. Yes. So I started off with my R23 and then blending that out with my R22. We just did our RV280 and I'm doing RV030. So again, that's R23 right here. We're going to blend that out with R22. And then I'm going to add in the RV280 to blend that out. It's a nice pink violet warmer shade. And then my lightest color is the RV030, which is right here. And I'll come in to the other side. We're going to add that to the center of the cookie, and this time I only use the R23, and I'm outlining all the icing and everything else because it's going to be on top of the little swirl is going to be on top of the icing, so it's going to have a little shadow under it. Blending that out with R22. And my lightest color on this one is the RV280. I'm going to add their little cheeks, and I'm just using RV030 and the colorist blender to blend that out. That's the little rose on the cheeks. My violet color is VO80, which is what I'm using right now. P4, which is we're blending out right here. And then we're going to blend the P4 out with our VO50, which is our lightest color. And then I'm going to do a balloon. I think I do 2 balloons that same color combination. That's the VO80 right there, blended out with the P4 and the VO50. Now we're going to come in with our yellow combination for our rest of our some of our balloons. So we're using Y2, Y1, which is blended out. So we'll add our Y2, if I could talk, our Y1 and blend it out with Y3. For our turquoise balloon, I'm using PB10. I'm going to outline the entire balloon in that. And I'm coming in with G340 and blending that out, making sure to go over the lines. And then I'm going to blend over the entire thing with G322. For my cookie, I pulled out 4 colors, but I only decided to use 3. I'm using E260. Actually, I'm going to use the lightest color is E220, and I'm going to color the whole thing with that first in the crumbs. I'm going to outline the edge with my darkest color, the E260, because I wanted it to look like the cookie's been baked, and you know when you bake cookies, you have that edge. So I'm blending that edge out with the E240, and then blending that out again with the E220. And that finishes out my coloring, and I'm going to cut them out with the matching dies. Alright, I've pre-cut all my papers. I'm starting out with the balloon pattern paper from the birthday paper pack, smooth cardstock pattern, birthday pattern collection from scrapbook.com. And I have cut 2 smaller circles and 2 larger circles. And all of this came from the paper pad. The pink... Was it the back? No, I used some of the paper from the pink paper for that collection, smooth cardstock. And I'm just going to add paper on the back. I'm going to line up my little straight edge of my circle, and then we will end up trimming the rest of that off. We're going to do that same thing for the other side. So I'm just going to make sure my line, half circle, 3/4 circle ends up on the edge. I'm going to flip it over and cut it off with the card base. And then we have our little star focal point, and for this part of the sketch actually calls for a banner, but I've put the strip all the way across the bottom, and I'm going to add my little penguin with his little balloons with some foam tape behind him, and I just used a strip in the center because I knew it was going to overlap those circles a little bit. We're going to add some liquid glue behind and pop him on like he's floating up. And then I decided to go ahead and stamp all my sentiments for all my cards, and I'm going to cut those out. And I just use that same black ink. So what did I use? I used VersaFine Clair for that, to cut that out. That was the ink I used. I used Memento to stamp my little penguins. So I cut that out with the matching die. I'm going to add a little black to his eyes with my black Secure Koi gel pen. And then I'm going to add my little highlights. I had to switch my gel pens because my jelly roll, I got to get a new one. All right, we're going to add some spare fairy dust rhinestones to our card. These are also from Pajama Crafter Stamps. If I could talk, y'all, I'm going to pop on a few of these, and I decided to put a few on each of the balloons to add just a little bit more sparkle and shine to our balloons up there. I wanted it to tie up a little bit, so we're just going to pop on just some of the small ones on each balloon. And they have a highlight anyway. Why not have a rhinestone? Hell. All right, we're going to add a little white to his eyes to cover that back up, and we'll finish off our highlights with his feet, and there's that card. For our next card, I flipped this instead of vertical. I did it horizontal with the way the sketch intended. So I've added a matte layer, and this did come from that same card pack. Let's put it on my little sprinkles, and I've already cut out my little half circles and just cut those off at the edge. I did 2 of those in the balloon pattern paper from the birthday paper pad. And then I did a yellow circle and a teal circle, which came from a different set of cardstock. I've took a small strip of that pink paper and used the reverse side for my strip sentiment. And I'm going to pop that circle on, and then we're going to add our little guy eating the cookie. And he's going to say, "I love you much more than cookies." How sweet. We're going to pop him up. And we are going to peel off our foam tape. You can see by doing the same layout, you get 3 totally different looks, really. And we're going to add our little highlights. You get different looks by the stamps you use, by the different papers you put with it, and by changing your layout from vertical to horizontal. So we're going to pop on our same fairy dust rhinestones. And for our last version of this card, I changed it up a little bit. Instead of circles, since I had circles on my background paper and the little confetti, I chose to do hearts. So I've cut out 3 hearts, 2 bigger and 1 smaller. And these are the nested hearts from scrapbook.com. They have great prices on their nesting dies, so I check them out. So I'm just going to line my hearts up in the center and make sure they are at the edge. I'm going to take my 2 extra pieces of paper, and I'm just going to snip a banner on the ends, and I've cut up the center and cut off on both sides. And now I can attach my banners, my flags, which is what is in the sketch. They only used 1. I'm using 2 because I had the paper and I didn't want to waste it. So we're going to flip that over, cut off the excess. And then we are going to take our extra little penguin with a little heart. And we're going to put on our sentiment. It says, "You're flipping the best." And then I can put birthday on the inside. I'm going to add some foam tape behind him. So we're going to pop him up too, just like everybody else. These are simple cards, but yet there's a lot. You might have to do a little tape surgery like I just did to get it where the shape I needed it. I'm just cutting off that little excess and adding little bits and pieces to make sure it's all nice and evenly popped. So we're going to peel those backings off. And this is the problem here with foam tape. Sometimes you cannot get the backings off without peeling up the little piece of tape. But I finally got it. So I'm going to add my liquid glue behind there. And I'm going to pop him up. And I've decided to move him down a little bit closer on that flag, like he's walking on the flag. We're going to add a few of our fairy dust rhinestones. So we're going to pop those on. I'm going to get a few more because I wanted some more of the various sizes. There's like 4 different sizes in there. There's a super small, a medium, and a large. So I guess 3 sizes. I think there might be one bigger than the ones I used today. I can't remember. But I got those on. I'm going to add my little highlights to finish off my card. And put our little highlights where he goes. And since his eyes are closed, I didn't have to use my Secure Koi gel pen. I'm going to add a few little highlights to the die cut hearts, the red orangey ones. And here's a look at all 3 cards. And I can just tell you, arranging the cards where you can see them on video is not the easiest thing in the world when you have more than 1 card. If you like this video, you're probably going to like this video. Here's a closer look at all 3 cards. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Love you.